Good morning, Flosstube. It's Lynette here, Hexagonstitches from Brisbane. It's summer here, but it's overcast, and I've got the air conditioning on. Thank you for joining me. It's January the 15th, and if you happen to hear noises around the place, it's the grandchildren tidying up and getting ready to have friends over today, and I'm hoping I can get this video in before the friends turn up. So let's go. So I have notes. These are attached to the in the description box below. There's a link to my Etsy shop, which is Hexagonstitches. There's also a link to KoKo xstitch, which is my local cross-stitch shop, which if I took the time I could walk there, but mostly I just get in the car. So a few things. Finishes. I finished the Satsuma Holiday House cell, and here it is. And I was very happy with that, and I just found some fabric in my stash to turn it into a wall hanging, and it's been hanging on my wall. And I noticed Helen D has finished hers as well, and she's got hers in a frame and it looks fabulous. I couldn't find my dowel to hang it hanging, so you know, a pencil works. So that got it up on my wall for now. So that was a fun stitch. It was a lot of stitching, but it was a fun stitch. So everything does a bit of overlapping because I'm doing Brringo, and I've got new starts and new cells. So we'll just start with where I've got and work through. So my latest new start I started yesterday was the Midnight Sander by Teresa Kogut, which was the exclusive for the Jingle ball, and I ordered the special cut fabric from Fox and Rabbit. It came yesterday, and I started it yesterday, and I happened to be at KoKo yesterday morning, so I could grab some of the Weeks dye works yesterday. So here's the start. So it says it's got a 2-inch margin. So I decided to start up here, and assuming that there'll be enough width to go across here. We're just trusting Fox and Rabbit that they've got their measurements and they're cut right. But I think so, because I think this will finish about here and there's more to go. So this is 18 count Ancient Ruin, Fox and Rabbit obviously. And that's actually not as dark as the picture looks, and it was really easy to stitch on, so I'm very happy with that so far. It was fun. It was hard to put it down, but so then we launch into the cells. So one cell that was the Christmas one last year that I haven't got too far with was the Historische Stickmuster free cell. I don't think it's free anymore. And I've got a piece of Paddock Lane Designs fabric called Royal Queen. It's a 36 count, which seems to be my go-to at the moment, though I am enjoying 20 count as well, but this is 16 count, and that's just a tiny start and a stop, and I'm using the called for silks. And I'll only show you bags if they're something better than this. So I'm getting confused which side I'm going from. I've also started, I decided this year I'd have two cells that would go through the year and that I would do. One was the HAED cell, and the other was the Hands Across the Sea cell. But then of course I had to check out Fox and Rabbit, and so I started it because it looks like it's a smaller one. It's a band sampler, so I've just got a tiny start, and this is 36 count raw by Zweigart, and I pulled out of my stash of Silks from You from when I was in the club. So I've got that's my light, and then I've got a medium, and then I've got a dark. So they have a version that is 3. I've got two bobbins of each of those, so hopefully that'll be enough. But the first row is just the light colour, and I believe they're going to give us indications of where to put the other 2 colours, because the original band sampler he took it from had 3 colours. So that's a fun little start that I can pick up because it's nice and easy and rhythmic. Then the HAED cell, so I'm doing this one. And I've seen someone in the group who started here, and this robin is absolutely gorgeous. But I'm a left-hand starter, top starter, so that's what I've done. Now this is 20 count Aida, which I've found I'm really enjoying working on. 1/1 full cross. So it's looking quite good. Now because of Brringo and because of this Great Australian Shindig, which I will talk about a bit later, everything is getting a little bit scattered into how I'm keeping up with everything. I think at the moment markup says I'll be finished this in September, which is not bad, but you know, I haven't worked on it consistently, so we'll see how we go. And I'm keeping that in this bag, which says perseverance is still king, time its sure reward will bring, which I thought was perfect for a HAED cell because you need perseverance, because I would like to finish that this year. And this is a pattern from Tempting Tangles that it was a stitch, mystery stitch along at one point, but I finished it into this bag. So I thought that was the perfect place to keep my HAED cell, perseverance. Then the hats one is Maria Wales Newson. Now, I had a false start on this because I ordered the kit from A Stitch in Time with the fabric and everything, and for some reason I thought I could manage 46 count, which I can, and there's my little start, and it does look beautiful. But then I realised this quote up here is 1/1. There's no way I'm going to do 1/1 on 46 count. And I don't like to use magnification if I don't need to at this point. I just want to sit back in my chair and relax. So yesterday when I was at KoKo, I went and I bought a new piece of 36 count Atomic Ranch, and I've got it all written down, so I don't know why I'm not reading my notes. Amber Waves, this fabric's called. And so I restarted it last night, and I've got 300 stitches in, which is 3 calls of Brringo. So I was very happy to get that back on deck with the Brringo one, and this is because it's a house in there. I'm keeping this in this bag I've made. That house was a Leslie Tier pattern. I think it was in a magazine. I'm assuming you can probably get it in her shop. If not, she has other beautiful houses. So if you want to do a house, Leslie Tier's got some lovely stuff. Right. So I've also got the Festive Mandala cell, but I've got that further down in my list. So they're the cells I'm working on this year. Now, at the moment. Let's go to Brringo, because Brringo's the brainchild of Carolyn Zook and Robin Birdseye Stitcher, and so if you look up Magazine Monthly Challenge, sorry, they had to change it, Magazine Monthly Cross Stitch Challenge on Facebook, you'll find their group, and they do pop-up challenges, and so the challenge for January is we're doing a Brringo, and we pick 25 projects, and she calls a number each night. So, let's see, get myself sorted here. Right. So the HAED cell I've had for numbers 7, 12, 19 and 22, and 7 and 22 have been done, so that's up to date, that one's finished. The hats Maria Wales Newson I've got for 3, 4, 10 and 17, and 3, 10 and 17 are called. That was the 300 stitches I caught up on last night. So it's either 100 stitches or an hour, whichever you prefer, and it just depends what I'm doing. I put the counter on my markup yesterday and did the counting. Sometimes I'll just look at the clock, depending. Then we had one, we needed a travel piece and a bird piece, I think it was, and I bought this at market last year because I just thought it was gorgeous, and obviously other people have. Carolyn's doing this, other people are too, and I'm just doing this on a scrap of Cascade House, which is the Australian dyer. It's a lovely sparkly one. It's a scrap, I don't know the name of it. It's 32 count. there I've got to the bird and started his suitcase, and it is such a fun stitch. It is a really fun stitch. Yeah, so I've done 1 and 5 calls for that, so I've still got another call of that to come. Then we had to do a new start from, where's it gone? A new start from someone we hadn't, a designer we haven't stitched before, and I had this little pattern from Summer House Stitch Works, and I haven't stitched any of her things, so I thought that's a nice little one. So when that gets called, that's what I'll start. I haven't pulled fabric or anything, I've just got the pattern for that. So you should see that next time I record, hopefully. And also I've done a thing for the Magazine Monthly Challenge, a cross stick, which they do each month. And I've got this on as a finish. I've got this on as a finish. Who knows what will happen. We'll get back to that as we move along. Then in my pouch that I've made, and there's a link to this pattern in my last Flosstube. So it's got little pockets, and that's what my that's what the Globetrotter bird is living in, that one. Then I did another Christmas stitch along with Thread the Needle, Varney, which was really fun, but it was a lot of stitching. So I'm still working on that, and this is the Festive Mandala, and this is on a 20 count. It says Vigard 20 count. I don't know, I can't remember what the colour is. So in the end, because I couldn't keep up with the amount of stitching, all these have got to be filled in with gold. I tended to do a lot of the black, and the black's still not quite finished, but it's looking fun. So I've got that on my Brringo just once for call 21, and it hasn't been called yet. And I think I've got this on my Magazine Monthly cross stick for a finish as well. You know, I'm a bit of a, not an overachiever. What is it? An overestimator. Then I have this wedding sampler. I have been doing this for goodness knows probably 13 years, because my granddaughters, oldest granddaughters are 13, 14, and I think I started this for one of their parents' weddings. And I think what slows me down is that it's all the blended threads. All in here is blended threads. I've done a reasonable amount. Now my youngest daughter will be getting married in July. She's the last one to get married. So I reckon I should make a ditch to get this finished and give it to them for the wedding, and I think they would like it. They've got cats, they like cute things, so so I've still got I've done, where am I, this bit of her confetti, blended threads, and some of this, so there's not a lot of blended thread stuff left to go. I think it's cute, and obviously you can see on him I've started some of the back stitch, how that starts to pop. I haven't done the back stitch on those little tiny mice, but that's a Country Companions, and it came out of this magazine, which is falling apart because I've had it in my stash of stuff. Often pull it out for a magazine challenge or something. This is issue 200, and I don't know the date. I could find it, but let's don't worry about the moment. So issue 200 cross stitch. So that is going to come out, and that's on Brringo twice, I think. Let me see. 3 times, and it hasn't been called yet. So I might get a run on that. Then I've got another one for call 6 and 14, which is this. Now this was given to me for my birthday by my friend Jenny, who I talk about a bit, and she made me this lovely project bag. Apparently this bit she'd started years ago, because we were both moving at one point, and we thought we'd move into units, we'd get 3. We'd have one, she and her husband would have another one, and the one in the middle would be our library music cross stitch one, but obviously we haven't done that. But that was, apparently she started this for me when we were talking about that. so that's fun. And she put in it little needle book, little pouch with threads and scissors, and it's really lovely. And this needle minder came with it. Anyway, I started this on a piece of fabric. Don't know, must have been having issues after Christmas when I started this. It was a very hectic Christmas. We had lots of services at church. We had my daughter's engagement party. We had an epiphany party. And I think I was feeling a little stressed, and for some reason I couldn't work out what size fabric I needed, which is not usual. I don't usually have an issue. I think part of it is because this is the flap and this is the bottom, if you can see there. So it's all stitched on one piece. Anyway, I'm stitching this thing and I'm thinking I'm going to run out of fabric. So I stopped, and I've nearly finished the outline of that, so I might use it for a scissor fob or something. So now I should have plenty of room. This is ballet slipper, 36 count ballet slipper, which is lovely. And the thread, which I had here a second ago, what did I do with it? Oh, it's falling down here. Jenny happened to give me this last Christmas, and this is a week's dye works called Bethlehem, so I thought, why not have some fun with that? So I really enjoyed stitching that both times. So that's also on my magazine monthly challenge thing for a finish. Yeah. I didn't take account of the shindig, which I'll talk about in a minute, and how much time it was going to take. Then we have the Fisher King long dog samplers, and I've been following Emily, crafty Emily, and her long dog samplers. Oh, and she was doing, just a second, I've left it on the other side of the table. She had some, she's got an Etsy shop, or no, it's not an Etsy shop, I think you get it through her Instagram. But she had these gorgeous, you can use a scissor fob or a fob on your project bag. But she was talking about how she'd beaded these by hand. She makes everything by hand, and I thought, I've got to have one of those. So I've ordered that, and I ordered a stitch minder, which was on something I showed you. It was an Christmas Australian postage stamp. I think it was on the, on here. Because it was an Australian stamp, a Christmas one, I decided I needed that needle minder as well. And I've had another needle minder, which is coming up on my Fisher King. So I also bought this one from her. So these are the ones where she has the big hole, and you can, when you're just doing something monochromatic, you can just put your thread on it. It's wonderful. So anyway, this is my Fisher King. That was a bit of a ramble. So I really enjoyed getting that package all the way from the UK. This just lives in a giant bag, which I don't know why it's in such a giant bag. I think I'll have to change it because it's always annoying. So I'm up here. Where am I? This side here. I really want to get to this. So on my acrostic goal, my goal is, I think, to finish this bit so I can do this. Yeah, I just love that. I think it's an ostrich. There's so many things. Oh, and this was in the Brringo. You had to have something you'd hang in your kitchen, and, well, I live in my kitchen is just here in the corner of my living space. I guess I could hang something there. But anyway, I was talking to my granddaughter about it because she was helping with a couple of the rolls for the Brringo, and she said, oh, you should use this because it's got a knife, a fork and a spoon. So I thought, okay, something could hang in the kitchen. It probably won't get hung in the kitchen, but it met the theme and it was a bit of fun. Where do we go from here? Then we had to have something that was closest to a finish. I think I just pulled this because it was small. So this is Plumstreet's Good Company. And this is on I think this is a 36 count. This fabric has been used for a lot of things. So even though Plumstreet are small, they still have a lot of stitching in it. So this was this, you can see this fabric has been used for all sorts of things. I did the fox from the Cottage Garden samplings thing on it. This was part of a By the Bay thing that I just did one part of. I absolutely love this fabric, and it had a failed sell from someone else over there. But yeah, I've got enough room for a few smalls, and I can't tell you what it is. Oh, wait a minute, maybe I can. Oh, there's a sticky thing here. Ooh, for ages I thought, I didn't know what this was. Fragments in Time, 2000, no, that's not that. That's off that chart. That's not off there at all. So, sorry, can't tell you, still can't tell you what the fabric is. Anyway, I've loved using that. And then my last, so that's on the, so Fisher King is on Brringo 3 times and it's been called once. Good Company has been called once, it was just on there once, so that's done for the Brringo. And then I'm stitching, I can't actually show you any pattern for this because it's a free chart, but it's Stitch for my granddaughter who loves Stitch. She keeps asking me when I'm working on this, and so it is on my Brringo ball once, hasn't been called yet. Daniela Bordados is the designer. It'll be on the notes in the description box. Okay, that's all of those. And this is my Brringo board so far. So this one's been called, this one's been called, and this one's been called. But knowing Caroline, the way she goes, or the way I roll, this one and this one probably won't be called in the next few days, even though it would be lovely to get a Brringo. So I just write them on here because then I don't have to fuss with a second bit of paper, and down the bottom I've just got a list and I mark off when I've stitched them so I can see how many calls are left and whether I can put them away. That's just the way I organise my Brringo. And then a couple of other things I want to work on is Spring Moon. Now I can't remember if I said last time, I really, really loved Winter Moon, and here in Australia I could not get it at one point. I was a bit behind the game. So I bought this and I started it. And this is on a 36 count light mocha Edinburgh linen. So I've done the moon, across to the cute bunny. So it's just sitting here because I want to work on it, because also Autumn Moon has come out. I've since bought Winter Moon and Autumn Moon's come out, and I was quite surprised how much I love Autumn Moon, because I often find the American autumn is different to our vibe for autumn, but I love that. Not so keen on the summer one, I'm not too perturbed about that, but I want to do all three. So I thought I'm going to put this in my Flosstube pile and try and get some work on it. It's not on any challenge, it's just here. Then I've been watching Lacey the Sleepy Stitcher and Small Town Stitches, his name escapes me, but they've been talking about Stitches So Beautiful having monthly challenges. So if you stitch 250 stitches a week and post each week, she gives you a free pattern. And I bought this last year because, you know, I've got a bit of an Alice fetish, which I need to get back into some of my Alice things. So I've been putting 250 stitches in this each week in January to see what the free pattern will be. And that's where I've got with that, just in this top corner. So I'm heading towards the end of the sign. But I've been enjoying that. I've been enjoying my full coverage. Then the other thing I've made for myself this year is a Whipgo board, which I think I've made one once before and didn't do anything with it. So I decided at Christmas I was going to have a Christmas Whipgo board. So the calls for January were 2 stockings, surprisingly enough. So this one, so when this first came out towards the end of last year, Jenny and I just had to stitch this. Oh, and we've got a kitten. This could be our new kitten here. And I will at some point see if I can try and film him, but today's not the day. So basically he lives upstairs with the family, but he comes and visits, and sometimes he sits with me when they're all out. So we've been working on this, and Jenny's finished this cat as well. And, you know, there I am starting the new Teresa Kogut stocking and thinking, well, you've got all these other stockings. Because everyone in my family has a Christmas stocking except me. So we were going to try and finish these last year, but we did the Satsuma house sell and that took up a lot of time. So, yeah, so I think my plan is once Brringo's finished and the shindig is finished, which is on the 25th and 26th of January, 2 days after that I might spend a day on this. That's Whitco, and that's in this bag I made, similar to the other one, but I jiggered it so I had more space in it, and that was the Tilda Christmas range that came out. And the other call for January was skating stocking, which I love as well. And this has only got a small start on it. I was going to do this for my grandson, and then I worked out it was going to come out so skinny it wouldn't be really practical for a kid's stocking. It would be too thin because that's the width of the top. And I thought I'll just do it because I want to do it. And I think I've got Noah's stocking from Carriage House as well. So, you know, I could finish 4 stockings this year, and instead of being the only person in the house, my family with no stockings, I'll be the only one with 4. Yeah. Yeah. Right, so Paddock Lane Designs here in Australia last year ran the Great Australian Cross Stitch Shindig, and there'll be a link below to her where you can find tickets. Similar to Jingle Ball, but simpler in a sense. I'm still getting my head around how it all works, but she asked me to make an exclusive and a freebie, and I'll also be teaching a class. So if you go on her website, she'll have a thing which tells you your time zone. So if you're overseas in the States, you can work it out. So I'm doing a meet and greet at 10 a.m. on Monday the 26th here. So that'll be Sunday in the Northern Hemisphere. And this is our Australia Day weekend, so that's why it's a Sunday and Monday. Works for us, but also works for overseas people because you're a day behind, so it works over your weekend, so which is quite good. So this is my exclusive, and I've called it Gum Leaves in France because obviously they're gum leaves, and these are like some Australian natives. And these fabrics are French general fabrics, and this is the newest range that came out. So that's why it's Gum Leaves in France. And my class will be teaching you how to do a hexagon border. So there's some little tips and tricks to how to get that to work. And if you've never done hexagons and you've always wanted to do it, well, this is the place to learn to start to do it because they're a lot of fun. And my name's Hexagonstitches because I love doing hexagons and I love to stitch. So a companion piece which will be available on my Etsy shop is this one. So more gum leaves, more hexagons. But of course, you know, you don't have to do that. You can just do the stitching and make it into whatever you like. That's just what I like to do. And I took these to KoKo yesterday and they're going, oh, I love the frills. So if you buy these patterns of mine on Etsy, there's full step-by-step picture how to finish them. So, and if you're stuck, you can always contact me. And then my little freebie, which was on the scrap of, you know, the corner of this. Here he is, little one for Valentine's Day. So, I haven't done anything with it yet. It's just a freebie, so I'll just, you know, you'll just get the chart. So I believe she does a freebie booklet. So all the designers in the shindig, she puts all our freebies in a little booklet and you get it as a PDF as part of the shindig. So that's coming up. It's $15 a ticket Australian, which is only like $7.50 US. So very cheap, and even if you can only pop in for a little bit, yeah, let's see how we go. I haven't done anything like this before. So we'll see how it all goes, and it would be lovely to see you there. And please let me know if you're a viewer, and if you, either in your comments here, if you're going to go, or if you do go, yeah, just let me know that you're a viewer of mine. And I thank you very much for those of you who do watch me, because I know I'm very erratic, which makes it very hard to keep up. Because my go-to floss tubes are Caroline Seasook Stitch and Stitchy Mummy. That I always watch them every week, and they're regular with their pop-ups. And then who knows where I go from there. I watch a lot of the favourites, but there's been some new ones coming up as well. So maybe next month, when I get another floss tube up, hopefully, I can let you know of some new ones I found. I used to try and film when the family weren't home, and I just worked out that that's not working. I've just got to go for it. So my eldest granddaughter here popped in before to go to the garage, and I said, why did you need to come through here? You could have gone through the front door. Oh, but I'd have to open the roller door. I said, okay. I said, but I'm going to film, so can you all give me a little bit of space? So they've been pretty good. They haven't interrupted. There hasn't been too much noise. Okay, that's it. Hopefully I'll see you at the shindig. If not, my next floss tube in February. Have a great 2026, everyone. Bye.